Hello, everyone. Charles Watts here. Welcome back to Inside Arsenal. What a lovely, lovely Sunday evening it is. I would say I hope you're doing well wherever you're watching or listening to this around the world. I got a feeling I might know the answer to that. Well, it's not even a question, but I got a feeling you are feeling pretty good about yourselves. And why the hell shouldn't you be? Because that is why we love football, isn't it? Does it get any better than a last minute winner? Well, it does when it's a last minute winner at St James's Park, which has been a ground that we've all got nightmares of the last few years. Brilliant. What a win. That is a massive, massive win on so many levels. First of all, it was deserved, by the way. I think Arsenal played. That was a good performance from Arsenal. Very good. Had it not been for Nick Pope, this was a game they would have won comfortably, made some brilliant saves. This was arguably Arsenal's best performance of the season, I thought, against a really strong side, a Newcastle side at St James's. It's a very difficult place to go, blah, 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 all those sort of cliches, but it is. And I thought for large parts, that was a really strong Arsenal performance. And it looked for so long, though, that it was going to end as usual at St James's Park with nothing to show for it. Yet another 1-0 defeat, but they kept going. They kept their heads. They didn't get sucked into everything. And Newcastle really tried to make that second half as bitty as they possibly could. But Arsenal just kept going, kept going, kept going. Arteta made some big, bold, positive substitutions. He changed the shape and it paid off. Mikel Merino coming off the bench to score the equaliser, of course. And then big Gabby doing what he does. Martin Odegaard with the assist from a corner. Really good cameo from Odegaard as well to win the game in the last minute. What those celebrations were so good. Go and have a look. If you haven't seen some of the pictures already that are sort of starting to drop at the goal and the celebrations and everything like that, go and look at them because they're really, really nice to look at. So I'll quickly just do my sort of immediate reaction in this video. I'll go through my player ratings at the end as well. If you want to get involved in the big sort of proper review show tomorrow, of course, get down into the comments, give me your thoughts on what you've seen today, who impressed you, what was the biggest positive you've taken from this performance, what negatives maybe, if there were some. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, I'll pull some of them together and get them included in tomorrow's show. So look, this, as I said, I thought this was a really strong performance. I thought Arsenal in the first half were very good. The first half hour, they were excellent. They played some really good football, some really slick moves. Just Nick Pope made some fantastic saves to deny Eze. A couple of really good saves to deny Eze. The first one was a lovely effort from Eze. It was a really good stop from Pope to get down that quickly and tip it around the post. Really impressive. The move that led to Trossard hitting the post, I think Trossard should have done better there. I mean, you've got to really score when you're in that position. Unlucky, I suppose, that it hit the inside of post and didn't go in, came back out again. But the move itself was a fantastic move. Really slick passing from Arsenal, cut Newcastle open. And you really felt at that point, a goal was coming. It looked like a goal was coming. Arsenal was so on top. They're playing really, really well. And then bang, a sucker punch. Well, I mean, I haven't even talked about the penalty yet. I have to say, my first instinct when I saw it, the penalty, was obviously that's an absolute stonewall penalty. And then I saw a couple of replays, and again, I just thought stonewall penalty. And when I saw the ref being sent to the monitor, I was just like, oh my God, what the hell? How are they going to manage to overrule this? I hadn't noticed the touch he got on the ball. I'm a bit split on it, to be honest, because Pope does touch the ball, but of course, Gyökeres gets there first. He touches the ball onto Pope, and then it goes off. My view on it is that as the referee gave it on the pitch, I'm not sure that there's a clear enough error there to sort of for the VAR to get involved and to make him change that decision. So I kind of feel like if the referee had seen it in real time and not given a penalty, maybe fine. But I just think after he'd given the penalty, I'm not sure there's enough there in the replay for VAR to get involved. That's kind of how I feel about it. When I look at it on the replay and I see the touch and everything like that, I'm not sure if it's a penalty or not. I haven't really got an opinion. Well, I've got an opinion, but I don't really know. But I just think once he's given it on field, I don't think there's enough there to overturn it. So that's what I thought. And that was a blow. And that sort of changed the momentum of the game a little bit. I thought it's sort of, obviously Newcastle at that point were flat. They were seeing Arsenal play better than them. And then that just changed the momentum. I thought it lifted the crowd a bit. And then bang, not that long after, Newcastle scoring pretty much their first attack. It was really weak from Gabriel. It was never a foul at all. It just gets in a bad position from the short corner, whipped in. I think he just knows that he's going to get beaten to that ball. Where's the ball flight's coming in? He knows he's not getting there and he's in the bad position. And Voltemade is going to get there. And I think he just sort of tries to buy a free kick as a sort of last ditch bit of defending to try and buy the free kick and throw the referee off. But it's not a foul in my view. It was pretty weak from Gabriel. And so suddenly you're 1-0 down at half time when you played pretty well. Now, I still felt fairly confident at half time, even though Arsenal were losing, because I just felt it was a game. The way, as long as Arsenal carried on playing the way they were, I felt like it was a game that if Arsenal scored, that they were. I just felt they were going to go on and win it if they scored. Obviously, my confidence started to wane a little bit as it got the clock ticked down. It was like 70 minutes, 75 minutes, 80 minutes. It was still 1-0. Obviously, at that point, you're thinking, all right, this game's drifting away from Arsenal then. But fair play to Arteta. He made some changes. Another really good save from Nick Pope earlier on from the brilliant ball by Zubimendi. Lovely header from during Timber. Pope made the save there. But the second half was more of a bitty. It was more of a classic St James's Park half than the first half was. But Arteta made some changes. He changed his shape. He took some players off, and sort of Zubimendi came off, for example. I think it was Odegaard came on. Calafiori, I think, came off, and they just totally changed the shape of how things how the team was set up. It was a bit of a Hail Mary type thing, but it worked. Mikel Merino comes on and pops up with the goal. Great ball in from Declan Rice. Brilliant header from Mikel Merino. That's what he does when he's in those sort of positions. He's such a threat. He can score goals, and he did. And it was a fantastic header. Really, really good header. And then it was game on. It was a case of, can Arsenal go on and win this game? You'll see Gary Neville rattling away like he always does about they've got to go on and win this game now. Champions do that and all that sort of stuff. And they did. And they did. And it was Gabriel who, fair play to him, after the mistake in the first half. I thought he had a really strong second half. Gabby got involved. He got stuck in and he popped up with the goal. Brilliant ball in from Martin Odegaard, who I thought Odegaard played very well in that second half when he came on for those sort of last 10 minutes plus stoppage time. He slipped that ball in for Lewis Skelly, and I thought Lewis Skelly just took a little bit too long before squaring that pass. But then he got the corner, whipped it in. There's Gabriel. And it's just a joyous moment. It is just a joy moment. And it's such an important win as well. It's not just a normal win. It's so important because of what happened 24 hours earlier with Liverpool dropping points. Now, Arsenal are now just 2 points behind Liverpool. And they've been to Old Trafford. They've been to St James's Park. They've been to Anfield. They've played Man City at home. It's been a really tough start to the season. When you factor in a trip to Bilbao as well in the Champions League and all that thrown into the mix, to be sitting just 2 points off the top of the table after these 6 games, I would have taken that to start the season. I really, really, really would. Obviously, I would have wanted to win every game, but I think Arsenal are in a strong position. And this feels like, on the back of what happened against Man City, getting a last-minute goal against Man City to get a point, to then get another last-minute goal today to win it, just the momentum and the belief that can build and can bring. I think it's been a really important week this for Arsenal, really important week potentially for their season. So delighted, as you can tell. I'm a very, very happy Charles Watts today. Brilliant day yesterday. Throat just about recovering this afternoon, and then Gabriel goes and does that, and I'm back to square one again with the throat. But I'll allow it. So as I said, give me your thoughts on the performance today, everyone. Get down into the comments. Give me your thoughts. What impressed you? What you think this win could do in terms of the season? How you view the start of the season now after these 6 games? Let me know your thoughts on all that sort of stuff, and I'll pull some of them together and get them included in the show tomorrow. Right, let's go through some player ratings now, shall we? I'm just going to try and find them because I did have them up here, and I've managed to delete the page that I had it on. So I'm going to bring it back up again. 1 second, because I do have it. Right, David Raya was obviously in goal as always. Didn't have that much to do. David Raya couldn't do anything with a goal. Of course, he was playing very much as almost as a sort of the classic sweeper keeper. For most of that game, he was so high up, especially in the second half. But I thought he had a good game with David Raya. Importantly, there was no issues with the short passes out from the back that played us into trouble at all with him. I thought it was just a solid performance from David Raya. So I'm going to give David Raya a 7. During Timber, I thought I had a good game. I thought Timber was really, really solid over there on the right-hand side, as he always is. I gave Timber an 8. Mosquera had a difficult afternoon. Obviously, it was his rash sort of slice clearance that led to the corner that Newcastle ended up scoring from. He went off at half time. I don't know whether that's injury related or not, why he went off. I've got a feeling it probably wasn't. I think Arteta looked at that and thought maybe he was struggling, maybe his confidence was down after that mistake that led to the corner. I don't know, but he brought Saliba on, and I've said it so many times with Mosquera. He's had such a brilliant start, like faultless start to his Arsenal career, basically, but that was never going to last for a young defender getting used to a new team and a new country, all that sort of stuff. He was going to go through some difficult moments, and this is his first real difficult moment that he's going to experience, and he's going to be better for it. He's going to learn from this. So it was a tough afternoon for Mosquera. I gave Mosquera a 5. Gabriel, obviously, it was a mistake for the goal. I think he just got caught in the wrong position. He tried to buy the free kick, which was never ever going to work. It was never a free kick, but his response to that was fantastic. I thought Gabriel in the second half, he was so good. and obviously popped up with a winner in the last minute. So it doesn't get much better than that. So I will give Gabriel an 8 for that sort of the response he gave from his from the mistake for the first goal. Ricardo Calafiori got a booking. I'll give Calafiori a 7. I didn't think it was one of Calafiori's better performances of the season. I didn't think he was poor. Defensively, I thought Arsenal were good for the most part in this game. So I give Calafiori a 7. Zubimendi, it's been a hell of a baptism of fire for Zubimendi since he signed for Arsenal. Really, really has. When you look at the away games he's had to play in that position, I thought he stuck up to it pretty well today. He didn't get absolutely overrun or anything like that by that Newcastle midfield. The physicality of it all, lovely little outside of the foot pass to set up that chance for Timber. I thought it was a decent enough performance from Zubimendi, so I gave him a 7. I thought Declan Rice was superb in the second half, especially when Arsenal were pressing forward, and at times he had to really bomb back a couple of times and do some fantastic sort of last ditch defending. He popped up with the assist for the goal, for Marino's goal as well. I thought it was a really, really excellent second half performance from Declan Rice. So I gave him an 8. Bukayo Saka still doesn't look anywhere near match fit to me. I think he's sort of lacking a bit of burst of pace at the moment, that extra sort of acceleration that he has. But it's another 70 minutes in the bank for him, which will be good in the long term. I give Saka a 6. Eze was heavily involved. A lot of our chances fell to Eze, like I said, in the first half. That one that was brilliantly saved. He had another one that was saved. He had one in the second half that he sort of swept over. But he was always involved. I really liked him, especially in that first half an hour when Arsenal were really good, I thought. Eze was constantly involved in that central position, because Arsenal played more of a sort of 4-2-3-1, I thought, rather than the 4-3-3. I think it was more 4-2-3-1 with Eze playing as a sort of out-and-out 10, and Declan Rice was playing a lot deeper next to Zubimendi. So I gave Eze a 7. I thought Trossard had a good game over on the left-hand side. For me, I quite like Trossard in this game. I thought he did some good stuff. So I gave Trossard a 7 as well. Gyökeres, I gave a 7. I thought Gyökeres, there was some really good stuff from Gyökeres, especially sort of holding the ball up, and especially in that first half as well. And didn't quite work for him in front of goal. He had a couple of sort of snapshots. He had one shot where he slipped when he looked like he was in a decent position. But I actually came away from that performance thinking that was quite a good centre forward performance from Victor Gyökeres in a really difficult place against, alongside Arsenal, the best defence in the Premier League. I was kind of impressed with what I saw from Gyökeres in that game. So I gave him a 7 as well. The subs who came on, Saliba came on at half time, I thought was good. I gave him a 7. Odegaard only on for 10 minutes plus stoppage time, but it was enough to change the game, I thought. He got the assist for the winner, of course, but I thought he was heavily involved. He really sort of transformed that last 10 minutes, I thought. And the pass he made for Miles Lewis-Skelly was fantastic. So for that little cameo, I'll give Martin Odegaard an 8. Gabriel Martinelli, I thought was lively, constantly involved. Give him a 7. Mikel Merino popped up with the goal. Just such a threat when he's in those sort of areas. Mikel Merino, give him a 7. Miles Lewis-Skelly, I won't really give a score for. He came on after Arsenal had scored to make it 2-1, just to shore things up, because Arsenal had sort of thrown everyone on at that point. And I think this ends the sort of argument as well that Arsenal play with a handbrake on and all that sort of rubbish, because the camera flashed to Arteta on the touchline when the linesman was given that sort of 8 minutes of stoppage time, and you saw the message from Arteta was like, he was getting out there saying, look, there's 8 minutes, get forward. He wanted to go on and win that game. He knew that his team could go on and win that game and how important it was going to be. No one was settling for a point here for Arsenal. This was all about winning, and they got their rewards. I just think they absolutely deserved it today. It was a good performance, and that's a fantastic, fantastic result. And that's it from me today, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'm sure you will. I'll be back tomorrow to do it all over again with the proper reaction show. We'll look at what Mikel's had to say, go over my player ratings again once I've had a little bit more time to really sort of take them in and factor them in. Might make a couple of tweaks, as I tend to do. We'll see. And yeah, lots more to talk about tomorrow as well. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.